Hello there, it's 9 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. This marks day 3 of a government shutdown, and there is no sign that Republicans or Democrats, their feud over passing a budget resolution will be solved today. House Speaker Johnson saying he's not talking with Democratic leaders because, quote, he has nothing to negotiate. That's a claim that Democrats reject. ABC's John Fernandez on the Senate side of things.
The Senate returns to session later today, but Majority Leader John Thune says if Democrats don't fund the government by tonight, lawmakers will be sent home for the weekend, stretching the shutdown longer.
The Senate convenes at 10:30 Central Time this morning, and they'll begin their voting at 12:30 Central Time. Yesterday, the White House moved to pause or cancel billions in funding for projects in blue states, ramping up pressure on Democrats. Apple has dropped the widely used tracking tool called Ice Block from its App Store. It came after the DOJ pressured Apple, saying it put law enforcement officers at risk, citing the deadly shooting at an ICE facility office in Dallas last week. In Nashville, Metro Police working leads to find the suspect from a shootout near Case Homes. Residents spoke to Channel 4.
I was playing video games on my computer, and I heard the gunshots behind me, basically, because my window's slightly behind me. And I turned and I was like, what was that? And started trying to peek out and see if I saw anybody running or anything.
The shootout was between a group of masked people and others. A 19-year-old with the masked gunman. He was killed. 2 innocent bystanders were also injured. A 23-year-old man driving a car and a 55-year-old man nearby. Sean Diddy Combs is back in court today. It is his sentencing day.
Combs has been in jail for more than a year, and his team says that time spent behind bars has been life-changing, filled with reading books, writing, working out or in therapy, and getting sober. He has also been teaching a 6-week class to fellow inmates called Free Game about becoming an entrepreneur. The theme of one class, you can make money, but you can't make time.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Cracker Barrel making a big move after its failed rebrand that spurred a nationwide outcry. The restaurant chain is ending its partnership with Profit. That's the consulting firm behind the rebrand. Cracker Barrel has not to date fired its CEO. The company's stock remains at a 3-month low. And right now, stocks are trading a bit higher. The Dow Jones Industrial's up 234 right now. The Nasdaq gaining 3 points. The S&P is up 12. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather is just ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. If you need a water filtration system or a water softener, you go to betterwater.com. We got Mason Fleming producing today. Welcome back. Welcome back, Mason.
Yeah, I had to walk the whole way here, but I'm here.
You know what? It's good for you.
Yeah, I need it.
It builds character.
Get my steps in for the day.
What's going on with your car?
I don't freaking know, man. I think it's a belt issue this time.
Here's one thing I love about Mason. We're both we have many things in our lives that we could get just downright pissy about. But we spent the 15 minutes that we had before we got on the air going, this is what's going good in my life.
Yeah, and we got good stuff going on.
If we focus on what we're grateful for, it's hard to let the enemy creep in and make you pissy.
Yeah, it's hard to get down.
It's hard to get down.
I love that, guys.
We're staying positive today.
That's literally what we were talking about. We were just talking about all the blessings in our life. Like that's how we kind of start the show usually.
Yeah, but for real, like today, I was bummed that I don't have a car right now, but my brother was cool enough to drive me into work this morning.
What a blessing that is.
Yeah, it was 6:30 in the morning, but hey, I'm here, I'm happy, and I appreciate the heck out of him.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's great to have family.
Oh my goodness.
And I have great family support as well. My wife is unbelievable, and we could just we could spend a lot of time focusing on the negatives, but you just swallow a poison pill of bitterness and anger, and it rots you out. It doesn't do anything to
drags everybody down, and
you're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
So we were just focusing on what's good.
Yeah, we stay on the positive.
This is what we do, and you should do the same, especially as we're heading into the weekend.
Oh, let's go.
Have you noticed? And I know you didn't really drive in today, but like every fall, without fail, my ride from Murfreesboro goes from like an hour to an hour and 45, except on Fridays.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, why?
Am I the only one starting to realize that nobody in this town works on Friday?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer, but also kind of nice because I get to kind of just cruise into work.
But nobody's on the roads on Fridays.
Oh, it's a
blessing.
Yeah, and then I hit Monday again. I go, wait a second.
We could spend our morning being angry about the other 4 days, or we could be focusing on the blessing that is traffic on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We got a big show for you today. I'm really, really excited. Congressman Tim Burchett is going to be joining us at 10:35. We're going to talk all things Shutdown.
Let's go.
We're also going to talk about Netflix. He was on with Benny Johnson yesterday, and he said he's going to haul the leadership of Netflix in front of some committee. He doesn't even know which.
He doesn't know which one yet.
He doesn't know which one, but some committee is going to get some subpoenas ready for the Netflix leadership teams and ask them, hey, what's the deal with the sexualization of our children on your platforms?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up with that? Listen, you could go down the list. It's not just Netflix. We could point to Hulu. We could point to Disney. We could point to Amazon Prime. Every single network has examples of them going after your kids. It's crazy. So we're going to talk to Congressman Tim Burchett about that. I'll also get his insight on what he thinks is happening in Memphis, how he feels the federal response is going, and more. So we're looking forward to Congressman Tim Burchett. We'll have the dadgummit counter going. So we'll see.
I'm here. I'm ready.
I feel like it could be a high-level dadgummit kind of day.
Oh, understandably so.
But I'm going to tell him, we got to focus on the goods and not the dadgummits. This is what we're focusing on today.
But I am ready. I do have my fingers ready to count.
Yeah, we're pumped about that. Also, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be on Fox 17, Nashville in Focus with Scott Couch. They do the show every Saturday morning where they talk politics. And I don't think they've ever had a guest like me.
They better buckle up.
I was previewing some of the topics, and I'm like, I already know that my takes are going to make them aghast. And, I'm really, really looking forward to that as well.
It's gonna be hype.
I'm pretty excited. My wife is like, you better be respectful. You want to be invited back? And I was like, okay, I'll be as nice as I can.
Within reason.
Within reason.
Of course.
I do have some comments preloaded. I may drop a Kamala Harris, excuse me, I'm speaking, if I get interrupted. But we're very excited about that. Scott Couch is actually a really nice guy. I haven't met him in person yet. We've just kind of been corresponding via email. And that's the news channel I watch. Do you watch Fox 17?
Yeah, it was like that's the go-to.
That's the go-to. We have some good properties in town. WSMV does a great job as well. But not watching the Phil Williams channel.
Not a fan.
No. Phil investigates. Have you heard? White Christian nationalism is on the rise. So no, hard pass, sir.
What?
Yeah. It's like, you know what's causing all the crime in Memphis? White nationalists.
Oh, nail it right on the head.
Weird. So we'll talk about that. Again, Congressman Burchett is going to be on. That's going to be really great. Monica Page will not be on today. We pushed that off. But I do have some audio. This is really cool. We'll get to during the show. Her husband works for OAN, One American News, and Daniel Baldwin. And he got to interview the president last night.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'll tell you what, if you don't follow Monica on Instagram, you should, at Monica Page TV, because it's fun to look at her story. And she's just so proud that her husband is interviewing the president of the United States. And I don't know, I love the vibe and the energy.
Yeah, as she should be. So proud.
100%.
I was like, that's such a cool moment.
Yeah, very cool moment. She got one of the giant presidential challenge coins.
Nice.
Have you seen those? I mean,
Yeah.
they're massive.
Oh, they're huge.
I feel like you need a better term than coin. You know,
disc,
medallion.
Yeah,
It's a medallion.
It's a medallion.
You could put it on a chain and star in a hip hop video if you wanted to. That's 100%. These things are just unbelievable. But I love seeing good things happen to good people. And Monica and her family, they're good people. Also, I love seeing bad things happen to bad people. Sorry, is that a hot take?
Not so hot take.
I was really excited to see this yesterday. Before the election, I said over and over and over again, if you want me to get ginned up and excited about a war, how about we go to war with the cartels? How many times did I say that?
Oh, ad nauseum.
A lot. I said it a lot, and I mean it. And I do. I take this very personal. I've seen what the opioid crisis, the fentanyl crisis, has done to the area where I grew up, to some of my friends that I grew up with, some who are not here anymore, some who will just never be the same. It's a weird dynamic when you see individuals that are hooked on drugs, and it's like you're just mourning the living. It's messed up, but that's kind of what you go through. And I'm pumped at this news. I understand not everybody is, and everybody's like, oh, there's ulterior motives. Okay, let's bomb the cartels. Let's sign me up. I don't think this is a situation where we're ever going to have boots on the ground, but we can do a lot of damage from the skies. And the Trump administration has said that the U.S. is engaged in armed conflict with drug smugglers after 4 boat strikes, and that we are at war with the cartels. New York Post has the write-up. Trump administration has informed Congress that the U.S. is engaged in non-international armed conflict with drug cartels following recent strikes on alleged trafficking boats in the Caribbean. The Department of War told House and Senate lawmakers that a series of airstrikes in September had targeted trafficking gangs, now designated as combatants, waging an armed attack on America via a deadly surge of drug overdoses. Sources with direct knowledge of the discussions told the Post. The so-called 1230 report to members of Congress, named after a section in the annual Defense Authorization Bill, is legally mandated following any incident in which the United States Armed Forces are involved in an attack or hostilities, a White House official said. This report was issued to Congress following the September 15th strike against designated terrorist organization, the official added. It does not convey any new information. The Pentagon notice was first reported by the New York Times on Thursday. President Trump boasted about recent airstrikes, eliminating 4 alleged Venezuelan drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean during a speech on Monday at the Marine Corps base in Quantico. We played some of that audio for you in real time. Again, if you want me to get excited about it, this is what you do. The president was talking about going after the drug cartels and the boats, and he's like, we're not playing games. We're going to take these guys out, and I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. It's hard to get me excited about these things. I don't like forever wars, but I don't see any other option with what these guys are doing. They're pumping our country full of drugs. And President Trump had a lot of strong words at the speech that he gave in Quantico to the Army generals. And I think this is something that a lot of Americans are going to support. This is the president on Monday in Quantico. Oop, hang on one second. Let me get my audio up. I'm messing up. I'm too excited. This is the president on Monday.
You try to poison our people, we will blow you out of existence, because it's the only language they really understand.
It's the only language they understand. Fact check that for me. Do these cartels respond to anything other than violence and force? Can you negotiate with these cartels? We know that they were putting sanctions on the cartels. No, what you need to do is put targets on the cartels, and that's what the Trump administration is doing. The Post goes on to say that Senator Tom Cotton, who chairs the Intelligence Committee, said that the president has every right under Article 2 of the Constitution to take action against narco-terrorists who are waging war on the United States. Murderous drug cartels are responsible for hundreds of thousands of Americans' deaths and have poisoned American communities for far too long, Cotton added. I commend President Trump's decisive actions against these terrorist cartels and urge him to continue protecting our country from the drugs and the violence that they bring. Roughly 100,000 Americans die every year from drug overdoses. In 2024, it was at least 70,000 fatalities that were attributable to cocaine or synthetic opioids like fentanyl, according to the CDC. We're blowing boats out of the water in the Caribbean because they're connected to international narco-terrorist groups. That was Senator Lindsey Graham. He gets excited for any war. It's just, hey, Lindsey, do you want to bomb? Yes. Oh, you didn't let me finish and say who. Yes. Oh, okay, Lindsey. This is the kind of war that I'm excited about. And I hope that we see this expanded. I hope that we go after them in Mexico and Colombia and any other country where they're operating freely. Dan Meyer, a partner at law firm Tully Rinkney, specializing in national security issues, said Thursday, our service members have been deployed to Central and South America for years in support of international law enforcement operations, doing substantially the same actions. The media just hasn't gone down there to report it. Well, now the Department of War is surfacing the mission and taking ownership. Surprise, there is gambling in Casablanca. On to the next question. Why do Americans behave in ways enabling drug lords and human traffickers? Someone has to consume the narcotics and pay for the sex for there to be a market. I understand that, but you can easily cut down on the supply. And as far as the human trafficking goes, President Trump has done a great job in limiting that already by securing the southern border, not with a new law, not with a new border bill, but by enforcing the laws on the books and unhandcuffing Border Patrol. This is what we need to see. We're seeing it play out throughout our cities as well as they round up criminal cartels, illegal aliens, and designated terrorists in these immigration enforcement operations, much to the chagrin of many Democrats. We're going to talk about that later on as well. The State Department has designated some of these cartels as terrorists, including Venezuela's Tren de Aragua prison gang as a foreign terrorist organization. In the unclassified notice sent to the lawmakers, the War Department refers to the cartels trafficking drugs as non-state armed groups and unlawful combatants that are carrying out an armed attack against the United States. The notice added, based upon the cumulative effects of these hostile acts against the citizens and interests of the United States and friendly foreign nation, the president determined that the United States is in a non-international armed conflict with these designated terrorist groups. Let's go. I'm here for it. I hope they go just as hard as they can, as quickly as they can. With the technology that this government has, with the surveillance capabilities that we have, how long do you think this would take if they actually went full bore? A couple weeks? Couple weeks. Let's see if they do it. I'm praying that they do. I'm tired of seeing the fentanyl crisis go on in this country. I'm tired of seeing these cartels be able to maneuver with no pushback whatsoever. And the Trump administration isn't going to take this lightly. Very excited about the updates that we have from the president. We do have some updates on cleaning up Memphis, and I'll bring those to you when we get back. It's surprise, it's working. I don't know if you know this. It's actually bearing a lot of fruit already. We'll talk about it. Hang out with us. A lot to cover. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. Listen to us anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. Every digital platform where you could be watching or listening to us has a share button. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. We would appreciate it. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
going to take a look at the economic impact of a long government shutdown. And a woman's recovering in the hospital after being violently kicked by a stranger in downtown Nashville. That's coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name's Chris Hand, 926, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I watched a documentary on Memphis last night. There's this like guy from England that goes to like the worst cities in America and does documentaries. And I was watching it with my wife, and she's like, I'm going to have nightmares all night long. I said, imagine how the people in Memphis feel.
Yeah.
Honestly. This is why I'm so excited about what we're seeing with federal agents, National Guard troops surging the Memphis area. They've been under Democrat control since, 1992? They've had a Democrat mayor. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. They'll tell you, we're down 22% since last year. Well, you've also had 6 months of FBI agents embedded in your city. That helps. That helps. But, when you're top 5 consistently, and then you go to number 6, is that really a cause for celebration? I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. And I think the definition of insanity, as you well know, is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. The Trump administration is not doing that. They're surging. Just a couple days ago, Fox 13 in Memphis, they were reporting on everything. Pam Bondi in a social media post saying that they're making more than 50 arrests over a 2-day period. That number has since risen. We're now at a little over 72 hours. The arrests are at 93. This is what Fox News was saying just yesterday when it comes to the National Guard in Memphis. If you're watching us on the YouTube stream, you're going to see the video open up with a nice big billboard, digital billboard that says Memphis welcomes the National Guard. I think just about everybody in Memphis is welcoming the National Guard, except for Democrat politicians and the criminals who know what's coming to them.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says that the Memphis Safe Task Force is making an incredible impact throughout the city after just 72 hours on the ground. Madison Scarpino joins us live from Memphis with the details. Good morning, Madison.
Good morning, Lawrence. The arrests so far include a Trende Aragua gang member and a man wanted for rape of a child. Earlier on Fox and Friends, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee called this task force a generational opportunity.
It's really exciting to think that a city that has been held back by crime for so long, a great city that has a great future, but that's been held back for so long, is going to have the opportunity for Memphians have the opportunity to live safely again.
I love how Governor Lee's taking credit for it. How long have you been governor? Oh, weird. And you decided not to do anything until President Trump got involved? Oh, strange.
AG Bondi says in just the first 72 hours, they arrested 93 criminals and got 28 illegal guns off the streets. She says her message to law enforcement is simple. We have your back.
That's a message that law enforcement officers are receiving all across the country. And I think it's about time that we have our law enforcement officers back. And I look forward to seeing a lot of these charges stick because they're going to be charged federally. They're not going to be charged by weak-kneed prosecutors and sentenced by liberal judges in the city of Memphis. These charges are going to stick. Again, I was watching that documentary last night, and I'm seeing all these guys, and they're like, oh, grab my paperwork. Look, I was facing 3 attempted murders. I was facing about 100 years in prison. What happened? Well, they let me go. Oh, weird. I think that the times are changing. And stories like that are going to get less and less frequent. And hopefully we'll find ourselves in a situation here in a year, 2 years, where we go, hey, you want to go to Memphis for the weekend for a Grizzlies game? And everybody says, yeah, that'll be fun. Let's do it. Because right now, there's nobody saying that. It's 9:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Watch yourself in Brentwood, drivers on 65 southbound before Concord Road. There's a crash and the right shoulder is blocked off by it. In the news, there's concern about whether the U.S. economy can sustain a long shutdown, an issue being talked about here on the third day of our government shutdown. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze.
Kind of the best example that we have is the 2018 shutdown, which was also under President Trump at the time. That lasted 35 days, so it actually stretched into 2019. And what we saw from that was an $11 billion hit to GDP. In other words, the overall output in the economy was $11 billion less during that time than it would have been.
The Trump administration also weighing layoffs of federal workers. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said if so, it would be in the thousands. A 64-year-old woman is dead. Another person has been injured after they were hit by a WeGo bus while crossing the road. Channel 4's Alexandria Adams.
Police tell us that Patricia Owens and Jeffrey Hawley were crossing Dickerson Pike near Ewing Drive Wednesday night this week, and the bus driver swerved to try to avoid hitting them. Owens died at the hospital from her injuries. We know that Hawley was hit by the side mirror and is expected to be okay.
WeGo says no one on the bus was hurt and the company's cooperating with the investigation. And in downtown Nashville, a 70-year-old woman crossing the street was knocked to the ground and left unconscious. This happened on Tuesday night as that woman crossed Commerce Street at 4th Avenue. A man had approached her, jumped in the air, and kicked the woman in the chest. The woman's neighbors say she suffered a broken hip and broken arm.
This could happen to anybody at all, anywhere at all. And it's intimidating, it's uncomfortable, and it makes you wonder, is this a good place to live?
Now, police have arrested the man. His name is Pablo Arias, and they were able to identify him because he left his cell phone at the scene. He's been charged with felony elder abuse and public intoxication. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at United Structural Systems. As you're moving about the house this weekend, look for some red flags and some warning signs. Ask yourself these questions. Are your floors sagging? Are there cracks showing up in the drywall? You got doors that just won't shut right? Listen, these aren't small issues. They're warning signs. A solid foundation is the backbone of a strong home. And when it weakens, these are the kinds of things that you see, and it's only going to get worse with time. This is why I always say you got to call the pros at United Structural Systems. These guys have been doing the job since 1994, keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. USS uses American-made adjustable steel supports built to last and backed with a transferable warranty. Even if you leave the home, the warranty stays. That's how confident they are in their work. When it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road. Call the pros. Call the experts at United Structural Systems. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, ussTN.com.
I'm Pastor Alan Jackson. I'm excited to invite you to join me for my brand new show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8, I'll be talking about the week's news and headlines, but through a biblical lens. Together, we'll look at what's happening in our world and how God's Word can guide us through it. Join me, Pastor Alan Jackson, Sunday evenings at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And you can listen on iHeartRadio and tune in.
938, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeartRadio, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV's on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Every online platform where you can listen or watch us has a share button. Please hit share. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Hit like, hit subscribe, do all the things. It helps all the shows.
Yeah, we're trying to reach everybody.
Even if you don't like my show, it will help the other shows.
Yeah, hit that thumbs down even.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
Do it.
It still helps us tickle the algo.
You got to mean it, though.
We're in the algo tickling business now.
But you got to mean it.
Yeah,
'Cause if you don't mean that thumbs down, then what's the point?
Yep.
What's the point?
100%. Yeah, do it only if you feel it. There's some people who are like, got you. I got you. Say no more, fam.
Easiest decision of my life.
We're getting some updates on, do you remember the Ice Block app that we talked about?
Yeah.
So Ice Block was an app that you could get in the App Store on your iPhone, and you could report where you see ICE operations happening. And we, on this show, we said we should all download it and do false reports because it's funny.
Just to have a random McDonald's cleared.
Dude, I saw this headline yesterday. I don't know if it's real, but I want it to be. I think I said it to you. I said it to like everybody. I was like, please be real. Well, there was this headline. You can see it on my Instagram page at Chris Hand on Air. We'll talk about Ice Block in a second, but I got squirreled. It said construction worker hires all these illegal aliens to do work, and then called ICE at the end of the project so he didn't have to pay them.
Nice. Oh, no.
I have no idea if it's real. Part of me didn't even want to fact check it because it's real to me, damn it. And it's like wrestling. Like, I don't want to know it's fake. I want to believe.
I don't know. I've seen them take some pretty hard hits.
It was so funny. I put it on my Instagram at Chris Hand on Air.
Nice.
Like, I hope it's real. The Ice Block app is real. And we talked about it a lot on the show. I've reported fake ICE enforcement operations, and I hope you have too. It's not the only app that's out there. Make no mistake about it. There are other apps available in the App Store that do the exact same thing. Same with the Google Play Store. But we did get word today that Apple has taken down that ICE tracking app, Ice Block, following a disturbing rise in violence and a recent shooting against the ICE facility in Dallas. Ice Block has been deleted from the App Store after pressure from Attorney General Pam Bondi. It's not every day that we're going to say salute Pam Bondi, but this is one of those things. Okay, give credit where credit is due. I think that you can make the argument that the fact that this was even allowed in the App Store should be punishable. I don't know how they could do this. This is downright dangerous. And Pam Bondi, per Fox News, said, we reached out to Apple today demanding they remove the Ice Block app from their store, and they did so. Ice Block is designed to put ICE agents at risk just for doing their jobs, and violence against law enforcement is an intolerable red line that cannot be crossed. The Department of Justice will continue making every effort to protect our brave federal law enforcement officers who risk their lives every single day to keep Americans safe. That's the statement that we got from Pam Bondi. Tom Homan was talking about this last night. He went on the Sean Hannity show, and Tom Homan, he's not exactly he's happy that they removed it, but I think that he was more frustrated that it was even there to begin with in the first place. This is Tom Homan.
And breaking tonight, Apple has just removed the app Ice Block from the App Store. Now, the program allowed users to post the location of ICE agents, which, as the Attorney General Pam Bondi pointed out, put them in serious danger. Her discussions with Apple got that app removed. Here with reaction is President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan. How would Apple get away with doxing agents and contributing to an atmosphere of putting agents and law enforcement in danger like that?
I mean, they shouldn't. And I think they took it down because what Pam Bondi said, they're going to investigate these people who put these apps up, because it puts law enforcement at great risk. People need to remember, ISIS, they're not just out arresting illegal aliens. I look at the numbers every morning. 70%, 7 out of every 10, are criminals. And the other 30% include national security threats. To give anybody a heads up, that ICE is working right now on 14th Street and Broadway. If you're a criminal in that area, there's going to be that population, that percentage is going to prepare for ICE to come and someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get killed. They gave a heads up to the bad guy. Someone's about to knock at your door. So I'm glad Pam Bondi's stepping up. DOJ's investigating this heavily. I think that's why the app went down, because they're looking at a criminal investigation.
Let's go. And I hope that the criminal investigation stretched to the creator of Ice Block. His name is Joshua Aaron. He did an interview when he released the app with Newsweek, and he said that he knew something had to be done to help the people. We got to help them. It's like, dude, you could probably make the argument that this app led directly to the incitement and violence that we saw in the Dallas facility. He didn't help any of the illegal aliens. The illegal aliens were the ones that took the shots. It's disgusting. Newsweek did comment the Department of Homeland Security during the same article for comment via email. They didn't get back to him. But this guy said he knew something had to be done after researching Project 2025 and images of ICE detaining people. Joshua Aaron, soy boy. Aaron created it with the goal of helping people avoid encounters with ICE. And he has said he repeatedly that it is not designed to interfere with law enforcement. However, the Department of Homeland Security, they said it puts a target on federal law enforcement agencies' back. He's absolutely right. He said that he compared ICE to the Gestapo, Nazis, Hitler. He said, as I often say, if you've ever wondered what you would have done if you lived in Germany during Hitler's rise to power, wonder no more, because you're doing it right now. Developing Ice Block was my way of joining the fight and giving people a chance to help protect themselves and their communities. I hope that he's faced some charges. I don't know what kind of charges he can face. I have no idea. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a prosecutor. But I hope that they really do investigate this guy. That back at the end of June, they had over 30,000 users on the app. At one point, it was the number one app in social networking. And then all the media attention it got helped it grow even bigger. No more, though. No more. This is a good development, and we're excited to see it. There are more apps that need to be taken down. And I hope that the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi are looking into that as well, and not just taking the low-hanging fruit of Ice Block because everybody was talking about it. This is what I hope. We'll see what happens. I got another story for you here, and this one broke yesterday, but it's kind of what we knew was going to happen, but we're still excited about it anyway. The Maryland man is gone. He's not coming back.
I'll be honest, the way you went into that, I almost hit the lightning sound effect for how quick you said that.
Really?
I was so on ready. I was like, ah.
No, it's a couple hours from now.
I know.
Couple hours.
I know, but I'm on my toes.
The storm is still off in the distance.
It's off in the distance.
Judge upholds a final deportation order for alleged MS-13 gangbanger Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Allegedly.
I think it's more alleged that he was a Maryland man.
Correct.
Federal immigration judge denied a motion by lawyers for the El Salvadoran national known as Kilmar Abrego Garcia to reopen his immigration case and confirmed the illegal alien's final deportation order. It's right, he's going to Uganda, I think. Abrego Garcia's lawyers filed an emergency motion in August to reopen the case to cancel the deportation order, claiming that since he was deported to El Salvador, but quickly brought back, he's eligible to claim asylum within 1 year of his last entry to the United States, ABC reported. But Regional Deputy Chief Immigration Judge Philip Taylor ruled Wednesday that Abrego Garcia already filed his original asylum claim nearly 6 years after his first immigration hearing, a period long outside the legal 90-day deadline from his arrival in the country in 2011. Judge Taylor went on to say that there's no evidence that Abrego Garcia's life is under threat should he be deported back to El Salvador, and pointed out that there's no evidence that El Salvadoran officials have labeled Garcia a member of the MS-13 terror gang, despite labeling being applied to him by American officials. Look at the tattoos. You tell me. Abrego Garcia's attorneys also objected to the government's warning that he could be deported to Uganda, Eswatini, or other nations, but Judge Taylor ruled that there is insufficient evidence that such a move has been predetermined, even though federal officials sent his lawyers a letter saying that he may be deported to one of those African nations. The word may is permissive and indicates to the court that in sending this notification to the respondent's counsel, the department sought to convey that it reserved the right to remove him to Uganda, the judge wrote in his ruling, not necessarily that it intended to send him to Uganda, that it had decided to do so, or that it would do so imminently. DHS posted a message on X announcing Abrego Garcia's final deportation order is now confirmed, saying, with today's ruling, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's final order of removal stands. This MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, domestic abuser, and child predator will never be loose on American streets. And they went on to say what do they say? Sorry, I lost it. His lawyers tried to fight his removal from the U.S., but the one thing certain, this Salvadoran man is not going to be able to remain in our country. He will never be allowed to prey on innocent Americans again. Never forget the Democrats who flew to a foreign land on taxpayer dime to break bread with this terrorist gang member and visit him in prison while they continue to fight for criminal illegal aliens. We will continue to put the safety of the American people first. And what are we seeing now? We're seeing the federal government, the Democrats, fighting once again for illegal aliens, this time for health insurance. It's just insane. The Democrats always put illegal aliens above American citizens, and they've completely lost the plot. They just have. This is why voters are abandoning the Democrat Party. This is why. We're seeing it left and right. So Stephen A. Smith was talking about this the other day. And he's like, guys, Americans don't care about due process anymore. Like even all the Kilmar, Abrego Garcia stuff, we know that what we were going to get to was this. And what we got was a lot of taxpayer money wasted along the way. And Stephen A., he's absolutely right. I think this was on, it sounded like this was on Real Time with Bill Maher. I'm not exactly sure where this clip came from, but I came across it last night. But he makes the point, none of us care about due process anymore. We're so over this, especially when it comes to illegal aliens who are in this country. You're in this country because you broke the law. Like, why should we be giving you due process? This is Stephen A. Smith.
This got a little heated when Stephen A. Smith stood up to the senator.
If you're convicted of a violent offense, absolutely, you should be deported. But if you're just arrested, we are a country which we have due process, and you should have a trial. But
So that was Rep. Ro Khanna out of California. And then Stephen A. Smith, it is Real Time with Bill Maher. Stephen A. Smith responds.
But we have to understand the American people are saying, we've been doing it that way for decades. We sick of y'all. Let's wait. Let's go through the process. Let's arrest somebody. Let's let them out. Oh, let's make sure they have due process. You think somebody wants to hear about due process with somebody that's in this country illegally? You in the country illegally. How with your process? Yeah. You got the audacity to admit a crime after you got here illegally? We ain't trying to hear that.
Thank you. It's Stephen A. Smith. Listen, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think Stephen A. Smith is probably the only guy that could save the Democrat Party. I know it's a wild take, but if I'm a Democrat behind the scenes, I'm looking at Stephen A. Smith and I'm like, that's the guy. That's the only guy. You need an outsider at this point. There's too much stink on every other Democrat candidate. I'm not trying to give him advice, but I'm just reading the tea leaves. And to me, Stephen A. Smith feels like that outsider that was coming down an escalator in 2015 and telling the Republican Party that they did everything wrong for the past 8 years, 10 years. And Stephen A. Smith is one of the only guys who can come down that escalator and say the exact same thing for the Democrats. You're not going to hear that kind of language out of Gavin Newsom. And I'm sorry, the fringe elements of the left, if you're going to cater all of your messaging to them, you're never going to win another election. I don't want them to win another election, make no mistake about it. And I think Stephen A. Smith would be a dangerous president because I think he'd be a puppet. I think that he would be controlled just as much as Joe Biden was controlled. But I'm telling you, it's something to keep your eyes on. We're going to talk a little bit more about immigration enforcement. ICE still at it despite not being paid, and we're seeing a lot of fruit from their operations around the country. We'll bring you some updates on that when we get back. It's 9:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. It's October, so we've traded in the bee puns for Halloween puns. It's spooky season, y'all, but don't get tricked when it comes to your home. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is the crew that you can actually trust, and they'll answer your phone calls. No ghosting, no nonsense. Here's the fun part. Join the Beehive Club for free. All you got to do is carve a pumpkin and put Buzz the Bee, the mascot of Busy Bee, on the pumpkin. Throw it on social media. Tag Busy Bee. Boom. You're in. You show off your carving skills, and you snag some good perks. Here's the real treats. Need HVAC service? Well, if you upgrade your thermostat, they'll hook you up with free dryer vent cleaning. Plumbing issues, they'll flush your water heater for free with any plumbing repair. Your pipes are going to thank you. Thinking about a new HVAC system? Well, this is a scary good deal. Free 10-year parts and 5-year labor warranty. That's a $750 value with any system install. So don't let the home headaches haunt you. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, Cooling today, where the service is solid and the savings are spooky good. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
Why am I so happy and so excited that Jimmy Kimmel lied to his audience?
He had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points.
I'm excited because the liberal and the legacy media have been lying about Republicans for years, and people like this are finally taking notice.
I didn't think much of the death because from what I had heard, Charlie Kirk had been a neo-Nazi who wanted me to be dead. He didn't support my existence and whatnot. And now I'm kind of sitting here thinking, and I'm like, I feel like I had been lied to. I really took some time after the, thing happened to kind of look into his videos, look into his beliefs, look into his thoughts and who he was as a person. And to me, he seemed like a well-mannered family man. He believed in the country. He believed in the greater good of the country. He had his own political beliefs and opinions. And sure, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with him on, but I never would stand for him dying or being murdered because of his beliefs. And I think I may be starting to lean a lot farther right in response to everything that's taken place.
Governor Bill Lee celebrating the feds in Memphis, and Vanderbilt University gets a proposal from President Trump. Those stories and more coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 9:57, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can always find what I'm looking at on my social media accounts because I basically retweet or post everything that we're talking about at Chris Hand on Air. That's on X, Instagram. What's the other ones? TikTok. It's usually just original content on TikTok, full disclosure. Yeah. There's some other ones, right? Is that it? Just X and Instagram? True Social. I really don't do anything on Truth Social. I'll be honest with you.
X and Instagram are your big ones.
Truth Social for me is just a spot where I have post notifications on for Donald Trump, so I can stay ahead of the curve. That's pretty much it. But X and Instagram, those are the big ones. At Chris Hand on Air, hit the follow button. You can always stay up to date with what we're thinking we're going to be talking about on the show, or what we did talk about on the show. Immigrations, Customs, and Enforcement still working. These guys are not getting paid right now. Thanks, Democrats. It's let's be honest, it's the Democrats. They're putting illegal aliens above American citizens. And the guys who are trying to keep you safe from illegal aliens, the rapists, the murderers, the human traffickers, the drug traffickers, they're still out there doing their job despite not being paid. Since the government shutdown on Wednesday, as agents are not being paid, we have news that ICE agents have arrested a gang member, a carjacker, kidnapper, among other criminal illegal aliens. Sanctuary politicians might put criminal illegal aliens first, but the brave men and women of ICE do not. A DHS spokesperson told Breitbart News, this is where we're getting the article, day in and day out, ICE officers are arresting the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens, including an 18th Street gang member, drug traffickers, robbers, kidnappers, the spokesperson said. Even as our officers work without pay due to the Democrat politicians' shutdown, our mission to keep America safe will not stop. In particular, ICE agents arrested Darwin Garcia Romero of Honduras, a confirmed 18th Street gang member who was convicted of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury in Middlesex, New Jersey. Lavardo John Basden, an illegal alien from the Bahamas, convicted of carjacking and strong-arm robbery in Miami-Dade County, Florida, who was also arrested by ICE agents, along with Gustavo Avelo Ramos of El Salvador, who was convicted of kidnapping in Mississippi and false imprisonment in Tennessee. Weird. ICE agents also arrested illegal alien Jesus Ramiro Rosales of Mexico, who was convicted of continued violence against a family in Texas, and illegal alien Luis Ramon Perez Gutierrez of Mexico, who was convicted of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute methamphetamines. It's just selling meth. It's just jobs Americans don't want to do. Like, give these people a break. Sorry. That's sarcasm, in case you weren't picking up what I was putting down. We're seeing a lot of operations. There was a week-long operation that just ended in Florida, netting 400 illegal aliens. We'll talk about that on the way back. Plus, we'll talk about the show of force that we're seeing in Chicago, plus a lot more. Do you know what Karen Bass has been saying? Karen Bass is accusing Trump and the DHS of hunting Latinos. They're hunting Latinos. Okay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about all. And I mean, remember the arrest I just brought you. One of them was an illegal alien from the Bahamas. We thought he was Latino. Cut him loose. Is that what they're doing? No. If you're here illegally, well, you're going to be found. The Democrats can make it easier. They can allow individuals into the jails to grab these illegal aliens, but they don't. They don't want to do that. Mayor Karen Bass, her sanctuary city policies, part of that problem. We'll talk about all this and more on the way. Plus, Congressman Tim Burchett joins the show at 10:35, giving us an update on the government shutdown and telling us what he thinks can be done about Netflix and other streaming services that are targeting our children with transgender ideology. A lot to cover, a little bit of time. Hang out with us. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Trump has just given Hamas until Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time to agree to his peace proposal. So far, Hamas has not provided any definitive answer. On social media, the president says that this is the last chance agreement, and if it's not reached, all hell like no one has ever seen before will break out against Hamas. We'll keep a close eye on that as the weekend goes by. Closer to home, the Museum of Christian and Gospel Music in downtown Nashville opened to the public today. It houses the GMA Gospel Music Hall of Fame. The museum is located within Lipscomb University's downtown campus in 11,000 square feet. Now, operators say they'll be able to open the garage door in the front and let the music flow as bachelorette pedal taverns make that go by. Governor Bill Lee was on hand this morning as Fox News broadcast from the new museum. He was pumped out about changes happening there in Memphis.
It's really exciting to think that a city that has been held back by crime for so long, a great city that has a great future, but that's been held back for so long, is going to have the opportunity for Memphians have the opportunity to live safely again.
Federal officers paired up with local police have made 93 arrests so far. There's news about the Des Moines, Iowa school superintendent who was detained by ICE last week and is now facing federal charges. Ian Roberts is in the country illegally, and ABC's Alex Perez says the school board was duped into believing that he held a doctorate.
In a statement, the Des Moines School Board saying they are a victim of deception, but Roberts' attorney asking the public to withhold judgment.
This is a very complex case. Take it a step at a time.
ICE officials say Roberts entered the U.S. in 1999 on a student visa and was given a final order of removal in May of 2024. Authorities say he tried to evade arrest and was in possession of multiple firearms.
Also turns out he didn't have a doctorate from Morgan State University, as he said, never attended MIT, as he also claimed, and never received a Principal of the Year award from George Washington University. Vanderbilt University is one of 9 institutions considering a letter sent to them by the White House. It was a 10-page letter, lays out a compact of policies that they can adopt if they want to get priority access to funding. The schools would have to freeze tuition for 5 years, put a cap on enrolling international students, and agree to define just 2 sexes, male and female, and keep men out of women's bathrooms and sports. Vanderbilt says it's reviewing the compact and expects to provide, quote, meaningful feedback to the administration. That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. Why on earth would you need those? Mason, why would we need water softeners?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
People want reasons. BetterWater.com.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we do. You hear that they're trying to shut down InfoWars? I think they did shut down InfoWars officially now.
No.
You can't shut down InfoWars isn't a place, it's an idea.
It's an idea. It's an institution.
It's an idea. I remember, dude, I was in high school. This is what radicalized me. I feel like it was the early seeds of radicalization where I'd be not paying attention in class, be in the computer lab. Remember the computer lab? And I'd be on Infowars.com. I would. They didn't know how to block that stuff.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
It really happened. I'd be like, hey, what's this about jet fuel and steel beams?
Hold on.
My teacher would get very uncomfortable very quickly. Like, we're not having that conversation here, Chris. It's like, all right. We can have any conversation you want. 615-737-9986. Neil's on the road. He's been holding for a minute. I appreciate you, Neil. You want to talk about Memphis? What do you got?
Hey, I love your program.
Hey, thanks, man.
Just moved to this area. Thank goodness I found your station. And came here from Jackson. I made a bunch of deliveries. I was a delivery driver working out of Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
In and around Memphis constantly. And a couple of years ago, Memphis was down over 500 police officers. I think that number finally reached almost 700.
It's insane.
They did not have the city policemen to do the traffic control, and traffic was out of control. So I don't know if you remember this or not, but Governor Lee sent in the state troopers, and those state troopers were positioned one every mile as you came into Memphis, and one for each mile on the 240 loop around Memphis to control traffic.
Okay.
And the taxpayers of Tennessee paid that. And the people of Memphis, their city council, in all their brilliance, they passed an ordinance that no police officers could be hired outside of the Memphis city limits. So now, today, there's still over 500 officers down.
I mean, but that's a compact issue, right? Like, I think that you can make the argument that they're down also because they know that the city government is not going to have their back. The elected officials are not going to have police officers back. Why would you want to work in a city like Memphis where you could take that same skills and training and go to a small town like, I don't know, Beech Grove or even Murfreesboro where you're going to have a lot more support? I think there's an infrastructure and a leadership issue that's compounding that as well.
Well, absolutely. You know, who wants to work in Memphis? First of all, you have to live in Memphis to work there. And who wants to do that?
Yeah. I mean, and this is just a blue city problem all over the country, though. You see it in places like Flint, Michigan, and Detroit as well, where it's just you have to live in the city. Nobody wants to. You have to face some of the toughest crime in the entire country. And then you get nobody having your back. If you got to discharge your firearm, you got to pray that you're not going to be lambasted in the media and demonized like a Derek Chauvin or something like that. It's crazy. I don't blame any police officer for not wanting to work in Memphis.
Nor do I.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Neil, and I appreciate you holding as long as you did. Let's go to Bobby in Nashville. What do you got, Bobby?
Hey, Chris, as always, brother, you guys do an excellent job. But we got to go down this. We got to go down this road about the police situation being short and all that. If anybody would go back and think about how this got started, it was the administration. Remember when he told everybody to stand down, don't do this and don't do that. But another thing I want to run by you real quick. This guy from Guyana that they finally arrested. You know, they're coming out saying that they was deceived and we didn't know anything about him, you know, want to start crying and tearing up. But, see, that was their fault.
Are you
for
talking
not doing a
about? Are you
background
talking
check
about?
on this guy.
Hold on. Are you talking about the illegal alien that was the superintendent of schools in Iowa?
Exactly.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're
I'm following
coming
now.
out, yeah, they're coming out saying they was deceived about his hiring. Well, hey, that was what they're supposed to do, was do a background check on this guy. What do you think about that?
No, I think it's such bovine scatology, to quote the late great Uncle Phil, because he claimed all of these awards, Principal of the Year, things of that nature. Anybody doing their due diligence would have been able to figure out that he was lying. I feel like you could have run that resume through an AI, and it would have told you that it was lying. But he had a $300,000 a year job. It's insane. It's insane. And he was registered to vote in Maryland for all of these years. But, hey, listen, illegal aliens don't vote in our elections. That's a conspiracy theory. So I think about that a lot. I think this is probably happening a lot more than we know. I do. But Democrats don't want to enforce any of these laws. They don't feel the need to. They think it's evil. Okay. Tell you what, I'm grateful that we have the Trump administration there. This mess would be, could you imagine where we'd be now 10 months in to a Kamala Harris administration? Could you imagine? Talk about nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I mean, the border would still be open. We'd have maybe another 1 million people in here. The inflation crisis would still be happening. Law enforcement, do you think we'd have any new recruits?
No, absolutely not.
It's just, we are so blessed that we got the Trump administration in here to stop the bleeding. The country needs a heart change. That needs to happen too. And I think it is happening. I think that we can point to a lot of things and say the heart change is happening in real time. But we're also seeing enforcement in real time. And that's thanks to the Trump administration. If you're watching us on the stream, I want you to check out this video. It's Army Black Hawk helicopters circling the area of Chicago. It's a show of force. We got these Black Hawk helicopters flying over the city of Chicago while agents are on the ground rounding up illegal aliens. This is amazing. This is amazing. It sends a message. See, this is one of the things that Democrats are saying. It's so scary. Why are you doing this? You know that like the self-deportations is almost at 2 million? That's why we're doing it. If you don't want to leave on your own and give yourself a chance to come back into the country illegally, we'll find you. The choice is yours. I think that the show of force is awesome. Democrats are now challenging ICE to come to the south side of Chicago. I'd be careful what you wish for. But listen to this crazy lady. This is, it's a little spooky, not going to lie to you. A little spooky. But she's challenging ICE agents and federal law enforcement to come to the south side of Chicago. I'd just say be careful what you wish for.
No, because I'm sick of it. Hey, ICE, come to the south side of Chicago. I promise you, we're going to keep our hands off of you. We're going to let you just throw people to the ground and tackle them. Yeah, we're not going to jump in and jump on you.
Psychotic liberals. These people are nuts. I hope that they do go to the south side of Chicago, and I hope that they teach them a lesson very, very quickly. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? I know why the Democrats don't want it, but it blows my mind. We did talk about, this was earlier in the week, the massive raid on Tren de Aragua members that were in a apartment building, the helicopter hovering over that building. You had officers rappelling down via ropes. We've learned a little bit more about it. It was a massive illegal immigration raid in Chicago, targeting members of Tren de Aragua. It resulted in over 24 arrests as the Trump administration is making good on its promise to keep American communities safe. Breitbart reports, despite sanctuary city policies making it difficult to do so. The raid involved several agencies and 300 federal officers. Took place on Tuesday in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood. Authorities have reason to believe that the apartment complex that they raided has been a hub of sorts for these violent gang members, terrorists, Tren de Aragua. According to Fox 32 Chicago, the FBI confirmed in a statement to Fox 32 that their agency assisted U.S. Border Patrol in conducting a targeted immigration enforcement operation. Border Patrol officers said they arrested more than 24 people who were then taken to the Broadview ICE facility to be processed. The outlet also cited a Border Patrol official who said they were seeking 6 high-priority targets, including suspected members of Tren de Aragua, And video was showing dozens of federal agents as well as a helicopter over the area and over the apartment building. If you remember, if you're watching the stream, you'll see the video. If not, you'll hear it on your radio as well. But it's just the video elements add something else to it. This is why we want you to be watching the show on YouTube. It does help us grow the radio station as well. But this is how they reported it on Tuesday.
It's hard to see, but there's a helicopter right there on this building. And that helicopter has just inserted snipers for the protection of all these federal agents you can see entering the building. What they are after, 6 particular individuals associated with Tren de Aragua. They say these individuals are responsible for dealing in guns, long guns and handguns, as well as drugs. The helicopter is now just taken off. This is really an unprecedented show of federal force.
I love it. I love to see it. And you would think with all of these Democrats who are so up in arms about gun violence, that Mayor Brandon Johnson was on TV just a couple weeks ago saying, you know why we have a gun problem in Chicago? It's because all the red states around us with lax gun laws. It's like, no, you have a problem with gun violence in Chicago because you have a problem with crime in Chicago. But they're going after guys that are selling illegal guns. Like, it's insane. It's insane. How dare you not pass common sense gun laws? How dare you go after the illegal aliens selling illegal firearms? Make it make sense. Again, this is just a couple days ago, Chicago on Tuesday. This is how Fox News is reporting it.
Almost 300 agents coming to get control of this building and the people inside. They detained about 24 people, searching only apartments where no rent was being paid. So far, we don't know if they got the high-value targets they've been tracking. One guy did display a Tren de Aragua tattoo. But the new detainees are being held and processed at this ICE facility in Broadview.
I think you can make the argument that all of the targets are high-value targets, and all of the illegal aliens that are selling drugs, humans, firearms should be considered as high-value targets. This raid came less than a month after the Department of Homeland Security has launched Operation Midway Blitz. We've been seeing Midway Blitz in action, boats on the rivers in town, and it's been awesome. Midway Blitz is in honor of Katie Abraham, who was murdered in a hit-and-run drunk driving car wreck caused by, you guessed it, a criminal illegal alien. DHS is launching Operation Midway Blitz in honor of Katie Abraham, who was killed in Illinois by a criminal illegal alien who should have never been in our country. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement, this operation will target the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens in Chicago. For years, Governor Pritzker and his fellow sanctuary politicians released Tren de Aragua members, rapists, kidnappers, and drug traffickers onto Chicago's streets, putting American lives at risk and making Chicago a magnet for criminals. President Trump and Secretary Noem have a clear message. No city is a safe haven for criminal illegal aliens. And she added, if you come to our country illegally and break our laws, we will hunt you down, arrest you, deport you, and you will never return. Ooh, it's terrifying language from the assistant the assistant secretary Tricia McLaughlin there. Hunting. You know who else is using that language? It's Mayor Karen Bass. I think she's trying to mirror the language. But she said that we're hunting Latinos. Did they drop the Latinx? They dropped saying Latinx. It's not very inclusive of her to say we're only hunting Latinos. If the Latinas are also illegal, they're high-value targets as well.
Get them.
You know, let's bring back Latinx. Let's be more inclusive. Mayor Karen Bass, they're hunting Latinos. I'll play you this clip from her. It's insane. She's an insane person. She's not a serious person. And we'll break it down when we get back. 1021, this is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. Behind the scenes here, we affectionately refer to them as the Pew Pew store. The Pew Pew store. Listen, you heard me talking about the guys at the Glock store all last week, proving why they are the best in the business. Last Saturday was the first ever international AccuShoot LFX competition. 5 teams from around the world and Nashville's own Glock store showing up and showing out. it was no surprise to me. Mitch Young, who I train with at the Glock store, he's the range and training manager. He's a really nice guy, but he's an awesome shot. He took first place. Now, I've trained with Mitch. This is why I'm not shocked. I know how good this guy is. He's unbelievable. You should train with Mitch, too. But what blew me away was Mitch's teammate, David Trevino Jr. He's only been training with Mitch and the crew at the Glock store for about a month, and he took third worldwide. Listen, a month of training, and this guy took third in the world. Shout out to David Trevino Jr. He put in the work on the AccuShoot system all week, ran with a Glock 47 with Glock store performance parts, but still, a month of training, and this guy's on the podium. It's unbelievable. If you want that kind of training, you can get it right here in Nashville. Book your session today at shoot270.com. This is only at the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere.
Memphis is working, and a big headache ahead for Wilson County drivers. That's coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand, 1026 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We've made it an hour and a half in the show and barely talked about the government shutdown. Maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe it's a good thing. We'll see. We're going to talk to Congressman Tim Burchett. He's joining the show right after the headlines with Joan Jones at 10:30. Looking forward to that conversation, not just about the government shutdown, but also about Netflix and the transgender ideology. He was on with Benny Johnson yesterday, and he said he's all about hauling those board members in front of some committees and seeing why they feel the need to push this ideology on our kids. I think this is a good thing to do. I wouldn't stop at just Netflix. I think we could go after Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon Prime. I mean, you name it. All of them have these ridiculous programs that target your kids. And then it's not even just the transgender ideology. I think one of the things that he was talking about at the Benny Johnson show was Coco Melon. You've heard of Coco Melon. I think we need to talk about the shows and how they target our kids' dopamine receptors and get them addicted. I think it's an understated issue, but it's really crazy. If you've seen any of the videos online, you put the Coco Melon on for the kids, and it's like heroin, because they change the screen every like 1.5 to 2 seconds. The screen's moving and it's changing, and it's triggering the dopamine receptors in your kid's brain, and it's getting them addicted to these shows. And we've seen a move in children's programming. This is, and maybe I'm an insane person for doing this, but I have 4 little kids, right? So you've seen a change where we've gone from engaging kids with good storytelling to engaging them with constant motion and animation, and it's because of those dopamine receptors. I think that it's a product of video game, it's a product of new research, it's a product of the app stores and the reward systems in these video games, and these developers learning how to hook your kids on their TV shows. And it's lazy, but it's really damaging at the exact same time. You think you're just putting on nursery rhymes for your kids, and you're not. You're burning out their dopamine receptors. So I want to talk to him about that too. And I don't know if he knows about it. I'm grateful for Congressman Burchett for what he's doing, but I want to make sure that this is brought up to him as well. Got a text here, 9521. Do you really not realize that you're supporting censorship? I think you do. You just don't care. Oh, censorship. Censorship. Is it? I'm not saying that the shows should be shut down completely, but I'm saying that we shouldn't be supporting people that make these shows, and that parents shouldn't be asleep at the wheel when creators on platforms like Netflix use a show like The Babysitter's Club to lull parents into a false sense of security and then dupe them with new content later down the road, and it pumps their kids full of radical leftist ideology. I think that that's an issue. I do, and we're going to talk about it. Scott texted in. He said, I don't like these shows, but I believe the market should dictate, not the government. I just think that we should get some answers as to why they think that this is okay to do. I think we should put the pressure on. I think that we have every right to do that. I don't think the government's going to go shut down Netflix or tell them that they can't create these shows. But a little bit of pressure, both from the market and from the government, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We'll talk to Congressman Burchett along the way after the headlines with Joan Jones, and then we'll get into some more stuff. I did want to do the Mayor Karen Bass thing. I have not had an opportunity to. I think we got a second. I mean, it's small comments from Karen Bass.
It's hard to see, but there's a helicopter
wrong
right.
Video. This is Mayor Karen Bass on CNN.
Racial profiling of Latinos, which we refer to here as the hunting of Latinos, that has created a blanket of fear around this city and has had detrimental impacts to our economy. We had 2 court decisions, and then the Supreme Court basically gave a green light to racial profiling. They are trying to dial us back to the 1940s. And
that's Mayor Karen Bass. They're hunting Latinos. They're dialing us back to the 1940s. It's false. And she says that the ICE agents are creating fear. She is deliberately creating fear and racial fear for political gain. This is what we're seeing with Mayor Karen Bass. Just for the record, before we jump into the break, Mayor Karen Bass's record as L.A. mayor. She turned the city into a sanctuary city for illegal immigration. She has strained resources, fueled crime, worsened homelessness, banned all city resources from helping federal law enforcement, undermining the rule of law. There wouldn't be agents in the streets if you let them into your jails. Look inward. It's 10:30. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And hey, if you're keeping track, the tally of arrests in Memphis as the president's crime crackdown there continues now stands at 93. And so far, the opinion of whether a federal presence there is needed, well, that remains mixed.
We shouldn't have no National Guard coming here. What they're telling me, they can't control the crime. The police can't control the crime here.
I love the idea of the federal government supporting local and state government when local and state government have either not been able to control the violence or have chosen not to control the violence.
Attorney General Pam Bondi saying a Trende Aragua terrorist was among those arrested in Memphis yesterday. Got a warning for parents as Halloween approaches. West Palm Beach police have announced the seizure of brightly colored fentanyl balls. They are disguised to look just like gumballs. They discovered the candy lookalikes during a traffic stop this week. Detectives say traffickers are intentionally making fentanyl in candy-like forms to attract children and young adults in an effort to drive addiction. To see what these drug balls look like, check out the photo I just posted on my X account. Find me there at Joan Jones, WTN. And a heads up for drivers on I-40 in Wilson County. The Tennessee Department of Transportation says the roadway is about to undergo a resurfacing project in both directions at exit 226. Now, crews will be out working overnight from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Look out for lane closures in both directions from now through next Wednesday, October 8th. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Cabinet Makeovers. I tell you about these guys all the time, but every time I walk into my kitchen, I'm reminded of how blessed I've been by Cabinet Makeovers. I mean, we got these pull-out cabinets installed in my home, and they're unbelievable. We're not digging in the back of the cabinets for the pots and pans anymore. The pantry that they installed is all pull-outs. It makes it so easy for the kids to grab their snacks and all the things. We love them. It's completely transformed our kitchen. It's been an unbelievable investment into our house, and I got to thank my friends at Cabinet Makeovers. These guys have been doing this in Tennessee for over 45 years, family-owned company, and everything they do is Tennessee-made. Every cabinet, pull-out, drawer, all wood construction, full extension, soft close glides. Craftsmanship is top-notch. Their team has decades of experience, and you can feel it in the work. But what really makes them special is that they'll spend time with you, man. Dan, the owner, basically turned our cabinet installation into a homeschool lesson for my kids, letting them turn the screwdrivers and even talk a little bit about Jesus. That's what guides their business, is their biblical values, their Tennessee pride. So if you need to get some remodeling done in your home, talk to the guys that I talk to. Cabinet Makeover, 615-331-7010, 615-331-7010. Find pictures of their work. It's going to blow your mind. CabinetMakeoversTN.com. .36 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Really excited about our next guest, Congressman Tim Burchett, joining the show. How you doing, Tim?
Hey, I'm great, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, and I appreciate you calling in. I caught a piece of your interview with Benny Johnson yesterday, And it got me pretty excited when you were talking about Netflix and the transgender ideology that's being pushed on kids. And it's not just Netflix. I mean, you can make the argument for Hulu and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime. And I wanted to see, why is this important to you?
I think the transgender movement is demonic, for lack of a better word. That's gonna tick some people off and get people worried about my line of thought. But there's nothing positive that comes from this. This is something that's come on all of a sudden. We didn't see it when I was growing up, and now you're seeing it. Just numbers are getting kind of frightening, if you ask me. I think it's a degradation of society, and we're allowing some perverted people in Hollywood to do this, and they're doing it for monetary gain, and they don't care about the outcomes of what's going on in this country. And I mean, to think that you're going to, in this country, we were using tax dollars to pay to butcher little boys and little girls, literally remove little boys' testicles, remove girls' breasts.
Yep.
To me is just, it's past cringeworthy. It is straight from the pits of hell. And we need to bring these people in front of our committee and expose it. I don't know legally what we can do. I'm looking into it, the FCC, and everybody says, well, just run them out of business. Well, you can't do that. I end up in court and I'd lose. And although it'd be worth the fight, it's just, but we've got to get to the bottom of it. I didn't really know a lot about it. Benny, I saw something on it on this one cartoon, I think on Netflix. It's, and the left trying to say, oh, you're just mad because they're biracial.
Yeah, it was Coco Melon.
I do not give a rip about that. It's the fact that this couple, male couple, is raising a little boy and turning him into a little girl. That, to me, and what happens is kids see this and they think this is the norm.
Yep.
And and little girls are tomboys. My mama was a tomboy, but she was a very beautiful lady. She's just a country girl. She flew an airplane during the Second World War, but she brought 3 kids into this world, and and there's little boys that are effeminate. It just happens, but we don't. It's just it's too much. It's too much. The power of suggestion is too strong. And that is one thing that we found out during COVID. Yep. People started looking over their little kids' shoulders at these computers of what was coming in from their schools. And then they realized, hey, wait a minute, something's going on here. We have got to stop this. And that's why you're seeing private schools, Christian schools exploding, religious-based schools, if you will. Homeschooling is incredibly big right now, and as it should be, and we just let them have it. We always compromise, and that's what conservatives, the mistake they do. You never see Pelosi and that bunch and Schumer compromise. Right. They may fold, they may get their teeth kicked down their throat politically, but they don't ever compromise.
No, and I don't think we should. And I think that there's the way they do it too. A lot of times is they'll tack it onto a season of a show that Gen Xers or millennials grew up with. So parents and grandparents are asleep at the wheel, and they think that the brand is safe, and then they slide in that transgender ideology, and it's disgraceful. It's scary, and it normalizes it for kids. One of the things I want to bring up to you though, which I hope that when you get these guys in front of a committee, you can ask them, is the way that they're programming some of these shows. Coco Melon in particular, which is the one that you were discussing with the biracial gay couple raising a young boy to put him in a dress, they are programming these shows where the scenes change every 1.5 to 3 seconds. There's constant motion, and it's hitting and triggering the kids' dopamine receptors. And I don't know when this started in children's programming, but you see video after video of, especially this Coco Melon show, where they turn it off. And because these kids are getting that dopamine hit over and over and over, they go berserk. They're essentially getting kids addicted to these shows. Is that something that you would be willing to look into?
100%. In the 50s and 60s, they did an experiment, and I think it was Coca-Cola. and they put it in like in movie previews or movies actually, just 3 or 4 screenshots of a Coca-Cola, you know, with the condensation down the side, and it was obviously cold, and they saw their sales go up astronomically, and they made them quit doing that because of that. And that is exactly what they're doing with this. And I think we have grounds to stop them from doing that kind of thing. We used to have something called standards and community standards and things like that we judge these things by, and those have just gone by the wayside. We've allowed them to wrap that in the First Amendment and freedom of speech. Well, as they used to tell us in college, freedom of speech works, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely. We're on with Congressman Tim Burchett, and I appreciate you pointing some attention to that, Congressman. I really do. It means a lot. But we're going to have to wait a little bit. There's no committee hearings right now because the government's shut down. What's the latest that you're hearing on the government shutdown, and what's your vibe on the whole situation?
Well, my vibe, I think, is correct. I've heard J.D. Vance talk about it, I think, yesterday, and I put a video out. The best thing the Democrats got going for them is the Republicans, honestly. We're the worst at messaging I've ever seen. Finally, the speaker's taking the fight to them, but I don't see anybody else. I am. And I said this several days ago. I said that it's basically Schumer. He's reading the opinion polls. He knows that they're electing a Marxist, if not communist, to mayor of New York City. Yep. He sees that. That's his base. He's an old-timey liberal. He's not a communist, not yet anyway, but he's whatever it takes to stay in power, which is another problem with leadership I'll address in a minute. But the problem he has is that he sees in his rearview mirror AOC is right behind him, and he knows it. She could overnight announce she's running for the Senate, and he will, and she will gain millions of dollars of support from all over the country. Hollywood elites, techies, young people, they'll camp out in New York to work for her. And it's our own fault. We created her. We made a martyr out of her. I told our people to shut up about her, but they didn't. And this is where we're at. She and I came to Congress together. But Schumer sees that as his threat, and he will bring down the country. And that's the problem with leadership. You know, they got their Suburbans. They're 3 deep with security everywhere they go. They don't have to stand in line. Their kids don't have to want for anything. Everything's provided for them. Somebody's opening a door for them. And they start believing that they're that important, and they're not, because there's 10 behind them that is qualified to do it. Just like me, there's 10 people, there's 100 people in the district that could do this job. I'm just the one that's hard-headed enough to run for election and put up with the misery. But that's the problem, and he sees it, and he will take down the country to do it. That's all it is. It's all it is. It's Schumer and the rest of the guys out there and gals in the Senate, the rest of the Democrats. They're used to being spoon-fed by the leadership, and they've got the defense of ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, and those cluckheads at The View. They're always going to just parrot everything they say. The problem is now that skirt that they always used to run behind for Schumer, it's not big enough anymore.
Right.
They can't run behind Schumer's skirt because even CNN called them out. Called
Hakeem
Jeffries.
Yep.
Hakeem Jeffries the other day. I wasn't shocked because I'm seeing that shift, and they're right every time I'm on that, and they trash me, and I always point out to them, y'all's ratings are in the tank because of your views like that, and mine are not.
It's usually my favorite part about your CNN appearances. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you. But you and a lot of other people, apparently.
Are we watching an internal battle in the Democrat Party right now with new voices like AOC emerging, Jasmine Crockett versus the old guard of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi? AOC put out a video saying, you can come negotiate with me directly. Nancy Pelosi was asked about that. She almost had a stroke, it looked like. But it does seem like we're witnessing a hostile takeover of the Democrat Party.
Well, I don't think they got the guts to do it, but this is a headline I read this morning. It says, "Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing? Nancy Pelosi rebukes reporter asking if GOP should negotiate with AOC."
Yep.
that arrogance is showing through. And, the Democrat Party, you think about the Democrat Party as some young radical on some college campus, but look who they've elected. They elected a bunch of old dinosaurs. Yep. I mean, literally. These people, they came in with Jimmy Carter, some of them. It is not what they voted for, and they're getting ticked off, and they're looking for a leader, and they will elect her overnight. I guarantee it. She'll just, and the bad thing about that is, again, we created her. I told our leadership was like, I remember one time I was at a meeting, and one of our leadership said, my favorite member of Congress, I know you guys are upset, but it's AOC. This is a Republican leadership saying this. And we were like, what? And oh, yeah, because she's making our case for us. She is the greatest thing ever. No, she's not. They've created a martyr with her, and she smiles, and she's pleasant. She's my friend, but she's a communist. She's like I say, my friendly neighborhood Marxist. And I don't see any reason she's not going to come down to Knoxville, Tennessee and beat me, and I sure as heck am not going to go up to New York City and beat her. So, it's just, it's the obvious is going on to me. It's just all obvious. And that's what's behind this shutdown. It's just Schumer's ego, and he's going to bring his whole party down to do it. And the Democrats are better at the carrot and the stick than the Republicans are. They'll beat you over the head with that stick, and they'll reward their members with a carrot. And that's why you always see them stick together, because they are afraid to get – and Republicans are more independent. We get a lot of criticism for that. But frankly, go ahead, beat me over the head. What are you going to do to me?
Yeah, no.
I get that all the time. I get the call from leadership, and they come sit with me on the floor, and they say, man, you can't do saying this stuff. We've got some older members that are upset with you. And I always say the same thing, but it's the truth, right?
Yep.
And they say, yep, it's the truth.
That's why you got voted in. We're looking at the betting odds on how long this government shutdown lasts. Polymarket says it could be up to 29 days. From your vantage point, your perspective, how long does the government shutdown extend, and who folds first?
Democrats got to fold. You've already seen 3 members peel off. You'll see Schumer lose his ground, and then he'll throw some bogus thing up there and declare victory. I hope we don't let him off the hook. I hope we stick to our guns, because this is all about providing health care for illegals. It's in the law. I can show you I can quote you the verse and song of it, where it's at, and it is it's the truth. It's on page 57, section 2141 of the Democrats' own bill, and it restores taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal immigrants. It's in their bill. They cannot lie about it. They think that America's not paying attention. Again, it's the case where the talking heads on television realize that they're losing everything. I mean, more people will watch Newsmax than watch CNN sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, and Fox is doubling and tripling their ratings.
Yeah, incredibly.
Yeah.
And they're just sticking to their guns. And so that's why you're seeing all these others, OAN and the rest of them, coming on strong.
If you had to estimate how long the government shutdown lasts, how many days do you think it's going to go?
Just watch the opinion polls. It could go 35. I was in the last one that went that long. But, I have no earthly idea. I've heard some talk that they're going to break this weekend and do something, but I'd be surprised at that. There hasn't been enough pain out there for it to, Americans got to really start hurting before the Democrats come to the table.
Is this something that
only one Democrat voted to keep our government open in the House?
Is this something that voters you think will remember come the midterms?
I don't know. We want our pizzas in 30 minutes or less, and that's about our attention span, and I'm guilty of that. Again, Republicans are the worst at messaging of all time. I think if we put it out in messages, we can do that, but I just don't see it. I don't see America. They're moving on to the next shiny object, and that's unfortunate. I know I'm supposed to say, heck yeah, we're going to take it back, but McCarthy told us in his last reign, he told us we were going to pick up 50 seats, and I think we picked up 3.
Yep.
So I don't trust our people are dinosaurs, and we got to get in the modern age. We've got to get some young people in there that understand this stuff. I'm not the right one. That's why I have them around me. That's why, I do my own Twitter, and I think I'm almost at 350,000 views, but I'm on Instagram, on all the other stuff. At Facebook, they're on it. I'm not. I've got my people. I just tell them what to do, and they do it. But we've got to duplicate that in about 250 districts. But you're not going to see it because, oh man, we won with bluegrass and barbecue since my granddad was here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a mule race or something. I don't know. It's beyond me that our folks, our leadership, do not push this agenda. We won. We got 3 seats. We're 3 seats ahead. We're literally one blue season away. Donald Trump won overwhelmingly by all measures all across this country. I think we need to adopt the America First agenda in Congress. And quit doing this crazy garbage that everybody's doing, going 100 different directions. It's a simple message. They voted to shut the government down. We got $50 billion in rural health care they want to strip from. You figure some God-fearing little lady up here in Appalachia or in the mountains somewhere is pregnant and she needs health care, and the Democrats literally strip that from her to give it to illegals, to people that aren't even here legally. And look at all the crime and things. Yeah, it's a small percentage, but and those people be alive today that those illegals killed. Just tell that to some mom who's lost their loved one.
Yeah.
Those statistics don't matter.
You're absolutely right. We're speaking with Congressman Tim Burchett. We got limited time, but I got 2 more questions I want to get to real quick. First, I wanted to see if you have any opinion or any thoughts on who should be representing Tennessee's 7th congressional district. Early voting has ended, and it's a pretty tight race. Jody Barrett, Matt Van Epps, Gino Bolso. Do you have a favorite in the race?
We just went through a tunnel. I didn't hear what you just said.
It's always a convenient tunnel.
Yeah, I know them all. I think Barrett's coming on. I'm just hedging it. Barrett's coming on strong. He's had some key endorsements, and of course he's being attacked from all sides, which I did. So I would think I would watch him very close on that one.
I tend to agree. When you're being attacked, it means you're over the target. And then lastly, any thoughts on the Trump administration and the war with the cartels that is about to start waging?
Take it to them. They're dirtbags. We allow them. Look, there's members of the cartel that are elected to city council in California. They under the Biden administration, they literally controlled areas of our border. We had military down there or we had guards down there without guns or without ammo. No way. Not under Donald J. Trump. You thump him one time and it's over. And I'm glad to see it. Is this constitutional? Well, tell me what's constitutional about some mama losing her little baby because they smoked a joint and it had fentanyl in it and they died. Tell me what's constitutional about that. Send them to hell. And I hope Trump does it. I'm over it. These people they're animals. You have to get into some of these criminal Hispanic gangs. You have to kill somebody. And we got a lot of great Hispanic people here in this country that have done it the right way. And they shouldn't be penalized for what some of the dirtbags they're doing, that are doing down in the countries they came from, because that's what they tried to escape. And we better figure out the immigration thing. We had a good system under Reagan, and then we just turned our back on it and let it just keep opening up. There ought to be a migrant way to get people in and work and go home and do that. But we're not going to do it right now. The political temperature is too hot.
Yeah, I hear you. Congressman Burchett, I really appreciate the time today, sir. Good luck with everything up in D.C., and we're rooting for you.
Thank you, brother. Go get them. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. It's 10:56. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got a crash at Talbot's Corner, drivers. It is 65 southbound right there at Trinity Lane. And then in Laverne, they're fixing potholes. And it's got the left lane blocked, 24 westbound right there at Waldron Road. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, the Trump administration this morning declaring war to combat drug trafficking. In Tennessee, Congressman Tim Burchett telling WTN's Chris Hanshaw what he thinks about those cartels.
Take it to them. They're dirtbags.
In a memo obtained by ABC News, the administration telling Congress America is in armed conflict and that drug cartels are unlawful combatants. A designation used as rationale for those strikes on multiple boats last month, resulting in the deaths of suspected drug smugglers. Sean Diddy Combs back in court today for his sentencing. More from ABC's Aaron Katersky, who says prosecutors are asking for 11 years in prison while the defense is seeking 14 months.
In a direct appeal for mercy overnight, the rap mogul writing to the judge, "I lost my way," adding, "I take full responsibility and accountability for my past wrongs." Though he was acquitted of more serious charges, federal prosecutors said Combs left women broken and beaten and deserves 11 years in prison. Defense attorneys called that draconian, far-fetched, and absurd.
Well, here we are, day 3 of the government shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson says yesterday he's not talking with Democratic leaders because he has nothing to negotiate. They've already voted for what they put forth. And Democrats just still not going along. Here's Rachel Scott.
The president pushing forward with plans for mass firings and program cuts, saying it's an unprecedented opportunity.
I'm allowed to cut things that should have never been approved in the first place.
The president making clear he's eyeing cuts to what he called Democrat agencies, targeting programs important to his political opponents. Democrats refusing to bow to the pressure.
And the FDA's given approval for another version of an abortion drug that has been at the center of criticism for anti-abortion groups. Here's Elizabeth Schulze.
The FDA is expanding the availability of the abortion pill, approving a new generic version of the drug mifepristone. These are medications used in about 2/3 of all abortions nationwide. They also help manage an early miscarriage.
Now, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he wants to investigate the safety of abortion medications, although multiple studies claim to show that these drugs are safe. And administrators at 9 U.S. universities are faced with a classic carrot and stick scenario, says Jim Ryan. He says it's contained in the Trump administration's Compact for Academic Excellence in Higher Education.
If those 9 schools, including Vanderbilt, Penn, MIT, and Brown University, agree to the administration's guidelines on, among other things, admissions, women's sports, and tuition freezes, they'll be first in line for federal funds. University of Texas professor of education David DeMatthews is troubled.
Seeing the federal government take aim at a variety of topics and issues that are typically controlled at a local level in universities.
His school, UT, though, has signaled that it's eager to sign the compact. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Sorry, I was arguing with somebody on the text line. It's 11:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Somebody, 2008's mad that I promote YouTube. So, Chris, you're pushing us towards watching you on YouTube, which admitted to censor all conservative and narratives on COVID. And I said, we're on Rumble, X, Twitch, and Facebook. We're given options. But to not be on YouTube and cede that territory is the wrong move. We got to debate ideas where the people are. And he said, I think it's a he. He said, I understand that, but you don't say watch us on Rumble, it's our favorite. Neither does any of the other three. You all say watch us on YouTube, it's our favorite. That's an ad and endorsement for YouTube every time you say it. I guess let me put it this way. You're promoting YouTube more an hour than you are Better Water. Well, we don't like the water turning the frogs gay, and we don't want anybody to feel like we're promoting YouTube more than Better Water. That's for darn sure. But I will say there are options, and Rumble though, and as much as I love Rumble, it is a flawed platform. I love what they do. I respect what they're doing, and I wish that they could get it together. But as it stands right now, it is a flawed platform, and it is so incredibly hard to even find us on Rumble. So we promote where the people are, and currently our biggest view numbers are on YouTube. So yeah, YouTube's our favorite until it's not. Actually, the FM dial is our favorite.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest. But for ease of use and the amount of viewers that we can draw in and the enormity of the platform, YouTube is the main one. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, as much as I don't agree with what YouTube's done in the past, it's easiest place to pull people from both sides because we get people from both sides in our YouTube chat all the time, and we love to have you guys there.
Yep.
Rumble, I feel like most people are going to lean towards agreeing with what we talk on.
Yep, 100%.
And so it's nice to have a non-echo chamber on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of leftists watching us on YouTube, too.
Yeah, the occasional troll.
And they say mean things in the chat, so that's fun.
Yeah, happy to have you.
I get it. I get it. Somebody said YouTube pays more. We're actually not even monetized on YouTube, believe it or not.
Yeah.
We don't make $1 on YouTube. We just don't.
We don't.
But that's the marketplace for ideas online. If you want to do video, you got to do YouTube.
To be fair, though, we do feed Chris's kids with likes.
We feed them with likes.
They become physical objects to be fed with.
They do. We feed the kids with likes.
Which is why we need more. Please
hit like and subscribe. If you, you know what? If you want us to promote Rumble more, let's get those views up on Rumble.
I'm here for it.
I mean, it's drastically different. We get like 1 or 2% of the views that we get on YouTube on Rumble.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah.
And I mean, I wish it was a better platform.
I do too. Its search algorithm is so bad.
The principles that they employ are far superior to anything that YouTube is doing. Like, let's be perfectly honest. That's just the way it is. The execution is lacking.
Yeah, the promise and hope is there. It's just not, the product is not there.
It's clunky. It's not smooth. The search features are terrible. It's just, they don't do the shorts. It's tough. It's tough. Sally wants to know if there are transgender cartoons available on YouTube. I'm sure.
Oh, probably.
I'm sure there are. 4460 says Rumble hasn't worked for 4 days. See what I'm saying? This is exactly what we're talking about.
Yep.
It is a clunky platform. And I don't want to besmirch them too much because I have all the hope in the world that they fix these things and get it together.
Me too.
Like I would love it. I would love it if we could flip a switch and we're more Rumble. And when we were originally getting on Super Talk TV, you know who was championing Rumble in behind the scenes? It was me. I was saying we need to be on Rumble. We have to. But it's still clunky. It's clunky. Larry said Rumble is a pain in the ass to join. I've tried 3 times. I mean, listen, I'm just being honest with you. 28 said promote it more. We say it every time, don't we?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and Rumble.
Find us on Rumble. 99.7 WTN. You have to type it in exactly like that, or you'll never find us.
Yeah.
And even sometimes when you type it in exactly like that, you can't find us.
Yeah, it still doesn't come up.
It's just the craziest thing. I don't know.
I don't think I could find it.
I wish I could learn to code, but I don't know how to do that.
Here, hold on. Step aside. Let me fix this for you.
I don't know. If I was them, I would just start pinching the guys from YouTube. Like, that's what I would do. I know you're not supposed to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but
I'd be like, get over here and work for us.
Who's to know? They chose.
Yep. Keith says, Rumble will make you grumble. That's a nasty one.
That's a nasty one.
That's a nasty one. That's nasty.
So he said, Chris, what's your go-to search engine for information? The best search engine on the internet right now is Twitter.
Yeah, I was about to say,
like,
you're a Twitter diehard over there.
The greatest search engine on the internet right now, especially for what I do, is Twitter.
Obviously.
And then I'll do, I'll occasionally do a Google, but a lot of what I do is I use the Brave, the Brave web browser on my iPhone. It's a pretty secure browser, and I use the Brave search functions the majority of the time.
Yeah, I'm a big ass.com.
I like Jeeves. I don't know.
Me and Jeeves hadn't had a conversation in a while.
I like my search results being served up by a butler. So I go to Ask
Excuse
Jeeves.
me, sir.
I go to Ask Jeeves.
Please.
So he said DuckDuckGo is better than Google. Yeah, dude, I get it. But Google is also important because then you see what the majority of people are seeing when they search those ideas.
Yep.
And those news topics. So there's a key element to Google that I'm not letting it force feed me information, but I like to see what it's serving up. Does that make sense?
So you see what the masses are kind of checking out.
You know the best place to hide a dead body? Page 2 of Google search results.
Easy.
100% every time. Somebody said thoughts on John Podesta. Creep. The weirdo.
Ooh.
Seen the artwork him and his brother have?
Not a fan.
I don't know. Not a fan. Not a fan of John Podesta. Somebody said Brave is my browser. Start page for my searches. Everybody's just chiming in now. No WTN show on Rumble since Mandis on Tuesday. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's through no fault of our own. So we just like a little behind the scenes stuff. We run all of our streaming through a third-party application, and it says, where do you want to send this to? And then we link all of our different accounts. This is how everybody does it. And then you say, go. And have we stopped clicking Rumble?
Nope.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I'll get with our tech team, see what we can do.
Yep.
See what we can do.
Find me on Instant Messenger. So we said, what is Brave? Brave is a third-party web browser that doesn't let the sites track you. You can download it in the App Store. That's what I like. I'm a huge fan of Brave.
Here for it.
Huge fan. Do you use Brave too?
No, but my dad does a lot, and he talks about the positivities of it. I'm just lazy.
Mason's based. Mason's dad is more based.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
Great dad.
Base dads are the way to go. Shout out to Tim Burchett, who came on. We got a lot out of him in a short interview. Just to recap, leaning towards Jody Barrett in the 7th Congressional District. He said that if they're attacking you, you're over the target. We agree with that. He said that drug cartels can go straight to hell, and he likes that the Trump administration is doing this. He said the Schumer shutdown is because they won't fund illegal alien health insurance and because he's scared of AOC. And I think that Congressman Burchett was just on point on all of those. If you missed the interview, we'll have it podcasted for you on Apple and Spotify momentarily. And you can also always scroll back in YouTube or Rumble if we were on there, but we're not because of clunky platforms. You can scroll back on any of the live streams and listen to the interview as well. It's there for you in perpetuity. I like the conversation about the government shutdown. The federal bureaucrats are furious about the government shutdown because the Trump administration set up an out-of-office reply that they can't turn off. CNN reported on this yesterday. It makes me chuckle. Anytime a Democrat's getting mad, tend to chuckle. Just me.
of what this message says. In part, it is the very partisan message that calls out and blames Senate Democrats for the shutdown, saying the House of Representatives passed a clean continuing resolution. Unfortunately, Democrat senators are blocking passage of H.R. 5371 in the Senate, which has led to a lapse in appropriations. Now, we've seen this language come from other agencies during this shutdown, suggesting to their workers to send similar out-of-office emails. But what's different here at the Department of Education, John, is that employees did not give their consent and that this was done without their knowledge. And I had one employee tell me today that they actually went back into their email, changed their out-of-office message twice, and it was reverted back and overridden by this actual partisan messages. So it's very concerning. The Department of Education also, and notably, not denying that this is happening. They tell me, quote, the email reminds those who reach out to the Department of Education employees that we cannot respond because Senate Democrats are refusing to vote for a clean CR and fund the government, adding, where's the line? Some federal workers raising real concerns about potential violations here of the Hatch Act, which of course states that federal employees are required to perform their duties in a nonpartisan manner.
It's hilarious. Sorry, you can't handle the truth. You want the truth, you can't handle the truth. Where's the lie? They're very upset. Can you imagine being a Department of Education employee and just losing their mind? Just yelling at their cats because they're going in and they're trying to change the out-of-office reply and they're like, haha, got it. And then they realize, no, you don't. And they go back to change it again. Fix it this time. Nope, you didn't. It's a partisan message. The truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. We spoke to Congressman Burchett about that as well. Burchett, he's like, man, this thing could go on 30 days if they want to. There are some Senate Democrats that could fold in this process. There are 5 in particular that we should keep our eyes on. According to Breitbart News, Senator Jean Shaheen out of New Hampshire, a Democrat, she's in a tough spot if the government stays shut down. You also have Gary Peters, a Democrat out of Michigan. Tough spot if the government stays shut down. Maggie Hassan, another Democrat out of New Hampshire. Ruben Gallego, Democrat out of Arizona. And John Ossoff, a Democrat out of Georgia. Those are the ones that are key that could fold before anybody else. But it's going to come down to Schumer. And it has a lot to do with Schumer's fear of AOC. But if we don't see the folding, we could see the firings. And that's my favorite part about all of this. President Trump was talking with Daniel Baldwin from OAN about this last night. And a sidebar, which I mentioned earlier, Monica Page, who is our White House reporter, joins us most Fridays live from the White House. She's married to Daniel Baldwin, and she's a great follow on Instagram at Monica Page TV. You should check out her story and send some words of encouragement because she was just gushing with pride that her husband got to interview the president. But during this interview, Trump causing a bit of panic, bit of a stir, because he said it's the left's fault, and there could be firings because of the shutdown.
There was an OMB memo going around suggesting that there might be firings during the shutdown. Do you think that will happen if the shutdown goes for a little bit of time, sir?
Well, there could be firings, and that's their fault. And it could also be other things. I mean, we could cut projects that they wanted, favorite projects, and they'd be permanently cut.
Let's go.
So you could say, a lot of people are saying, Trump wanted this, that I wanted this closing, and I didn't want it. But a lot of people are saying it because I'm allowed to cut things that should have never been approved in the first place. And I will probably do that.
I love to hear it. I don't think Donald Trump wanted the shutdown. I think Donald Trump wanted to keep his agenda rolling without this. But you got to look for the good. And if the silver lining of a government shutdown is countless leftist bureaucrats in the thousands being relieved of their duties, that's a positive development. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Zero Res of Nashville. I got 4 kids, 2 dogs. You know I'm looking forward to the weekend. We're going to be getting outside. We're going to be playing, and we're going to be tracking dirt back into the house. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion. This is what happens when you got 4 little kids, and we don't stress about it. We don't, because we got Zero Res on speed dial these days. Because when our carpets are a mess, we know who to call. Zero Res comes in. They use their exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue, which means the carpets are going to look clean, stay clean longer, and the kids can sprawl out on the floor. Dogs can roll around. We don't have to worry about what's in the fibers. My wife and myself, we love the guys at Zero Res. It's not just carpets. They do air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, the works. It's perfect if you deal with bringing the dirt in a little bit more than you like we do. And it doesn't break the bank. Right now, you can get any room in your house cleaned for just $45. You're not going to beat this deal. Call Zero Res of Nashville today. Take advantage of it. 615-535-9376. That's 615-535-9376. ZeroResNashville.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Sean Diddy Combs back in court in New York for his sentencing. This story and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. I just got this video from my wife. Maybe you can hear this if I play it loudly. Woo! My son's putting in work over at DBAT Murfreesboro. This is one of the benefits of homeschooling. We can set up private training during the middle of the day and do schoolwork when we have our opportunities to. We've been doing the homeschooling, right? So they go to a hybrid 2 days a week, and then the other 3 days are with mom, but we're stacking the days. So that way they're only doing school 4 days a week. It's awesome. It's been working out really, really nice, and the kids love it. If you haven't thought about homeschooling, man, you should. It's really, really awesome, and the kids love it. So we got a lot to talk about. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. 615-737-9986. I know Deb has a question, but my phone on this side, it's back up. It just crapped out, but then it just came back. Let's talk to Deb in Franklin. What's up, Deb?
Oh, hey, Chris. Killer show is always, and I love when Tim Burchett's on.
He's a beast. I love Congressman Burchett.
Love it. My question, and I know it's probably rhetorical, and I don't really expect you to have an answer, but how is it that when the Democrats are the ones who all vote no, is it the Republicans' fault that we're in the shutdown? Now, I'm not a big fan of the continuing resolution, but that's another topic, but I just wanted to see what you might have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't think that we can blame the Republicans whatsoever. The clean CR is a funding bill that they've already voted for. They've already approved this. The only reason that there's an issue is because Chucky got heat for it last time, and he knows that AOC is hot on his heels, and he could lose power. We're watching a death grip among an old politician that doesn't want to lose that power. Jared in Nashville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Jared?
Hey, buddy, I was just listening to you talk about that Trump did not want this shutdown. I don't agree with that. And it's not about just the shutdown. It's about health care. The Democrats wanted a deal. They wanted a deal.
Yeah, because they wanted to fund health care for illegal aliens.
Not for just illegal aliens. We're talking about millions of Americans. We're talking about kids with autism. This false narrative is already crazy enough.
It's not a false narrative, though. It's literally in the bill. Like, you can look at the version that Chuck put up, and you can look at the version that the Republicans put up.
But whose fault was it that they even allowed these illegal aliens? And then here's the real truth, is that these people are American citizens. I'm a black American. And so my people are from Africa, but I am American because of generations. There are a lot of those people that are too. So what we're talking about, the bottom line, is fairness across the board.
No. It's not fair for an undocumented citizen, as you might want to put it, or an illegal alien, as I would put it, to go to an emergency room, receive free health care, and then have me or you have to pay higher prices to cover those costs. That's what's not fair. It's not fair that the Democrats consistently, over the last how many years, have elevated illegal aliens over American citizens. That's not fair.
No one is talking about it. I mean, No one is talking about the illegal aliens and the health care.
No, you're absolutely wrong. I mean, in the Democrat primary in 2019, they're all in the debate stage, like 15 people, and they said, out of all your health care funding, which one of you would your plans include health care funding for undocumented people? Every single hand on the stage goes up.
What you're talking about is humanity. You're talking about the care of an individual and people. And it sounds like
What I'm talking about, Jared. Hey, what I'm talking about is my oxygen mask first. Okay? I can't help anybody else on the plane if I'm unconscious. And if we're going broke because we're paying for illegal aliens, we're not putting our oxygen mask on first.
You just lost your argument there, because if we're going broke, we wouldn't be paying ICE the way we're paying them.
We're paying ICE to get rid of the millions of illegal aliens
to run around our country. It was just in Chicago the other day where they took down a black family, took a baby out in zip ties without letting the mother put on.
Took a baby out in zip ties. I'm gonna need to see the source, my man. I'm gonna need to see the source.
I mean, it's all over.
Can you do me
independence?
Hey, can you do me a favor, Jared?
Jared, what you're saying?
Jared,
this is what I hear you saying.
Hey, Jared, one second. No. Time out. It's my show, man. Let me talk. The number that you called in for the show, okay? If you can text me the picture of the baby in zip ties, I will issue a public apology and I will denounce that on the air.
Oh, it's all over. It's everywhere. I'll send it to you. I promise you.
Send me the picture of the baby in zip ties. 615-737-9986.
I posted it this morning on my Facebook. I will.
Send it. I cannot wait to see it.
Absolutely. I tell you, man, there is enough strife in the air. Pointing fingers at this point is going to make it even worse. And
what are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
Conservatives are the one being shot at because the liberals are calling us the Gestapo and the Nazis.
And they're being shot at by other conservatives. But blacks and illegal immigrants. And we're not even talking about.
What are you talking about? We're being shot at by other conservatives?
They're supposed to go after.
Which conservative?
All this other stuff. And they've not done any of that. You know why? Because they were retaliating. It would be ugly. So they've been taking mom, pop, and kids going to school. They've been doing. We're watching a gangster mob Republican MAGA party take try to hold on to white power until they die.
White power. It's all about white power. Is that what it's about?
It is.
Okay, explain to me Vivek Ramaswamy, Byron Donalds. I mean, do we need to? No. It's about conservative values.
Look at it from both sides. If I had to take care of my family, and at the end of the day, it was about roof over their heads, food on their table, I may do some things that aren't above board. But at the end of the day, man, I still would be fair. And what we're watching now is so ugly. It's insane.
You're so off the mark. All of this goes back to
your opinion.
All of this. All of this goes back to your president, Joe Biden, leaving the borders open while they lied to the American people and told us they were secure, allowing millions upon millions upon millions of illegal aliens in this country at numbers that we're probably not even getting the actual total, that are stressing our system. And no, that. We need to. The only fair thing.
Any of those numbers,
you don't believe
the numbers. I mean, were our borders open? I do say yes.
Okay. Here's the thing.
But
you talked about
crimes against humanity. Was it to the
crimes against humanity? Sending them back home
from the U.S.
Sending them back home is a crime against humanity. Sending them back home is a crime against humanity. Sending them back home is a crime against humanity.
They're not sending them back home. They're sending them other countries. They're enslaving them. And where are all the people
enslaving them? Again, give me a source. Give me a source. Give me a source. Listen. All right, dude. You owe me some.
You keep saying, "Show me a source," but I think you pick and choose yourself.
I think you pick and choose yourself. Like I said, the number that you called. The number that you called.
You have a responsibility to tell the truth, and you're not doing it.
The number that you're called.
Not doing it.
Text me all your sources. I want to see the picture of the baby in zip ties. I want to see all of the illegal aliens that are being enslaved. Send me your sources, and I will dive into them, Jared.
Are you trying to be the new CK? Is that your goal? Is that you want to be martyred? I mean, because you just sound like you're on a soapbox.
Is that a threat? Is that a threat?
That's what it sounds. That's what it sounds like.
Is that a threat?
That's what it sounds like.
Are you threatening me? You threatening me, Jared?
That sounds so white to go. Is that a threat? When you bring up the facts,
you just said. Are you trying to be the new CK? Do you want to be martyred?
That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like. You're like, let me get on this soapbox because I want to be the next martyr. And what you're doing is that you are endangering other people with what you say and comes out of your mouth.
I'm not endangering anyone.
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, I was sitting here listening to your show.
It is crazy liberals like you that are endangering people, pushing this narrative that ICE doing their job is the Gestapo. Oh, you think I don't care about these people? I actually, when the crazy leftist went on a roof and started opening fire on the Dallas ICE facility just last week, I said, you know what I did? I said, I'm going to pray for the illegal aliens that were killed. I'm going to pray for them. And I will. And I did. You're off the mark completely, Jared.
I'm taking some action with that.
Yeah. Sounds real good. Sounds real good. Yeah. Well, the only ones that are taking action are your side, and they're throwing bullets. You guys are psychos, and everybody knows it. Appreciate the call. 1136 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 1140, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My apologies to Ken Weaver for subverting the news there.
That's all right, Brother Chris Hand.
We got into a bit of a spirited discussion. Is that how we would classify that? It was spirited.
Lively.
It was lively. I've never, I think that's the first time I've had my life threatened on the air. And then it was the second time. And then it was the third time all in one call. That's nice. That's nice. Appreciate the call, Jared. Get some help. Somebody texted me. I lost it, dude. I got so many text messages during that break. Somebody texted me, said, calling Jared a psycho wasn't very nice. Okay. Saying, do you want to be the next martyr? Isn't exactly very, very thoughtful. So, hey, what are you going to do? 615-737-9986. What we do is we take it with a smile, and we keep our heads on swivels, and we stay armed. Shout out to my friends at the Glock store. KJ in Hendersonville. What's up, KJ?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Hand? Thanks for taking my calls. First and foremost, it's a total waste of time to even converse with people like Jared because, again, he has no facts. He has no data. He just has emotions, and he just wants to emote, right? So the question that you should have just asked him, point blank period, is, Jared, so what color is your wife? Because I bet you dollars to donuts, Jared is going home to a white wife as he screams about white supremacy and all the rest of it. And you'll also notice that oftentimes the black people, and FYI, I'm black too, but the black people that have the kind of energy that he has always seem to have a white wife. But moving on to
let me just say, I don't care what color his wife is. I don't know if he's married or not. I think what we saw with Jared is just a broken person who doesn't have Jesus in his life, and I'll pray for him, and I pray that he gets that under control.
Yeah, he definitely needs prayer. And again, I'm just so sick. Again, as a black person, I'm sick of the conversation that goes nowhere, and then it always ends up on white supremacy.
Yeah.
So I'm just sick of that. But secondarily, in Memphis, I support the efforts that the Trump administration is doing in Memphis, and I just hope that they understand that as long as they are dealing with the professional Negroes or the professional Negro class. These are people that Booker T. Washington defined as people who essentially make their career on black grievance. You're never going to get those people to agree to anything that actually produces positive results. So I'm sure they'll get crime down, they'll arrest the criminals, they'll do all of that. But as long as the professional Negro class still has a large say in how things get done, they will always hand back or cede power back to the criminals, back to the scoundrels, and the people who are messing the community up because they need chaos or the community would not need them. Yep. And then lastly, there was a gentleman I think called yesterday, and he kept saying, I hope the black community in Memphis does something that takes advantage. And it's like, do you understand? The people that he's talking about are Jared, okay? They're never going to agree to anything. They're never going to even get to a point where they can agree to disagree. They're going to emote, and then they're going to slap, punch, or send one down range. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, I appreciate you as well. 615-737-9986. If you want to join the conversation, 615-737-9986. Go to Matt in Cheatham. What's up, Matt?
Hey, man, what's going on? Hey, listen, first and foremost, I'm thankful you didn't make me follow the guy that's on MAO and hamburgers and Xanax. That would have been difficult. But my question is, I keep hearing this commercial. It says that there is a Muslim school in Nashville that is teaching Sharia law that is getting tax dollars. Do you know anything about that? How is that possible? If it's a religious institution, how are they getting tax dollars? Help me out on that.
So this is a story that was reported by, I got a story here, and I'll explain it to you. I'm going to let you go. I'll explain it off the air. 615-737-986. TN School Choice Program funding Islamic indoctrination. This is from thenewamerican.com. I'm not exactly sure on the source, but it says a newly created school choice program in Tennessee is already funneling your taxpayer to multiple Muslim schools across the state that embrace Sharia, Islamic law, and jihad. School leaders are also using the students to lobby to state officials. The revelations are fueling fresh criticism of the taxpayer-funded school choice program known as the Tennessee Education Freedom Scholarship Program. Opponents warned it would lead early on to this. The Tennessee House Representative Jody Barrett, conservative rep now running for the 7th Congressional District seat, warned his colleagues about the fact that this would happen when the government funded school choice legislation that was voted on. He was right. Said they were all aware when we voted on this, there was no prohibition on tax money for these types of programs, he said, after being asked about the funding for Islamic schools. It was discussed, and everyone who voted on it knew they would be allowing tax dollars to go to Islamic programs along these lines. Among the Muslim schools listed on the state's website as eligible for receiving taxpayer funds is the Pleasant View School. On its website, the school claims to offer excellence in education through Islam. The school also provides a strong foundation in Islam that is at the heart of their mission. That way, the marketing material continues. Students will love Islam, learn Islam, and live Islam. The website states that starting in pre-K, students will learn how to fully practice Islamic lifestyle. In elementary school, the children will gain an in-depth understanding of Islamic prophets, including Muhammad, who married a young child and waged a ruthless war on those who refused to accept Islam as a role model to emulate. By middle school, students will learn detailed rules for life under Islam as articulated by the religion's holy text. And in high school, they will come to understand Islam as a mission that guides their lives. Public announcements reveal that Pleasant View school students have been working with the American Muslim Advisory Council to influence Tennessee politics. In fact, on social media, the school brags about joining with other Islamic schools and using its students for Islamic advocacy. Are they doing Sharia law? I mean, it doesn't explicitly say it. At least what I see. Sorry. But this is first I'm hearing of it. Appreciate you bringing it up, and I will look into this a little bit more. Eric in Nashville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Chris. Real quick, because I couldn't help it over here about the part while you had me on hold about the Sharia law. I could go on and on about that. In my 20 years in the Army, I spent enough time in the sandbox, but that's a conversation for another day. Right before I got banned on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, a few years back. Thanks again, Jack. I got reinstated, so, hey, flyover territory. I'm the good guy. No, I'm not. The thing is, there was a guy a long time ago, he doesn't have an X account anymore, but he used to use the Voltaire argument. And what I used to love about that was he would say, I don't agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to be able to say it. And then he would add in a caveat at the end. Now, will you extend that same courtesy to me?
I like the caveat, and that's
and the caveat is what made it, and that's where he said, and it's a yes/no answer. Which is it? And if it was no, he said, fine, kick rocks. I don't care. I don't want to talk to you. Have a nice day, and just be pleasant.
Yep.
And that's literally how it is, because I've already started to understand in just literally since November who I don't want in my life.
Yep.
Just here in the Nashville area. And I mean, yeah, this is a little dot of blue amongst 3 blue dots within the state of Tennessee. I don't want anything to do with those people because 2/3 of them might be kind of cogent, but there's 1/3 of them that are rabid.
Yep. And they call into conservative radio. I appreciate the call. They call into conservative radio stations and drop thinly veiled threats. I think I got time for like 1 or 2 more. Let's go to Steven on the road. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Chris, I just wanted to comment on that caller, Jared or whatever, and just point out the fact that everything he was saying, and you were asking about his sources, it sounds like he's one of these extreme lefties, and he's been programmed by MSNBC and CNN and all these other media outlets and everything. But also, it sounded like he had some personal issues about himself, and I don't actually believe the guy was black at all. I think he's just putting up a front. But whatever his issues are, whatever his problems are, I just want to say, man, these people that are so messed up and so ticked off right now about what we're seeing going on in our country, which is the right thing to do in our country, they're mad. And, when a heated caller when somebody wants to call in and debate you guys, the minute they start going off the rails like that, I think you guys should just close out that conversation and have some nice words, and hopefully they'll cool down because
I hear you, but at a certain level, you got to let them expose themselves. And I appreciate the call, Steve, and I think that letting them expose themselves is good. One of the things that he said was that babies were being zip-tied in Chicago. So I did do some due diligence on that Jared said, right? And here's what I found. No pictures, and reports from local ABC news channels in Chicago that said children were being zip-tied, with then comments from the community saying the babies were being zip-tied. Okay, if you've watched any of these news reports over a number of years, you understand that they'll refer to 17, 16, 15-year-old kids as babies. It's just what happens in the inner cities. It's not the same thing. And then I would also make the argument 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids could be violent. And if you think that they're the members of a street gang, zip ties are warranted. But I haven't seen any toddlers in zip ties, which is just ridiculous. Wade in Portland, what's up?
Yeah, buddy. I just had a couple of comments for Jared. First of all, the government shutdown. Yeah, but everybody's going to get their money. I'm on Social Security. I get it. You may have to wait a little while on your check or whatever, but it's going to come.
Yep.
When they're shut down, they can't screw anything up. So, I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. The second thing is, if we're going to pay for illegals, insurance, health care, why don't we just go ahead and pay for all of Mexico's health care? Canada.
Why not? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's
go all out. Let's don't just halfway do it.
Yeah, let's pay for it while they're in their own countries, though. They don't have to. Let's probably save us some money at the end of the day. Don't come here. We'll just fund your health care over there. Let's go to James in Lebanon. What's up, James?
Hey, man, real quick, I know everybody's talking about that Jared, but Jared ought to be thankful. Because wasn't it not too long ago, President Trump and RFK and Dr. Oz, they stood up there and they told what was wrong, what makes people think that crazy. If he'll need to go to check his mother, he'll find out she was on a high dose of Tylenol. Because somebody that freaking stupid to even talk that way to you on the radio, he don't need to be out in the public. Those people are just stupid.
I love it, James. You're an absolute savage. Listen, I like the call from Jared. I don't like my life being threatened on the radio. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But I'll pray for him anyway, and I hope you guys do as well. It's 11:54. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 11:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, I'm bringing my firebrand of conservatism to Fox 17 for Nashville in Focus.
What time?
I think it's at 8 or 8:30. It's going to air. You can pay attention to my socials at Chris Hand on air, and I'll tweet it out. But they post it on YouTube and they do it on News On. Do you do the News On app?
Do you have to go in?
Yeah.
Then unless you do from your studio.
No. I'm going in.
You're gonna go in, throw down.
I'm ready. My wife said, "Please be nice." I said, "I'm always nice."
Take the temperature of the room first.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
I did watch a few weeks of episodes. It's not as much conservative pushback as I think there needs to be against Democrats. So I'm gonna fill that void.
Are they Democrats? Or is it just they're just political reporters?
It's always like 2 conservatives, 2 Republicans, and 2 Democrats.
Okay.
And then they argue.
Do you know
about
who
stuff.
you're arguing with?
Yes, but I'm not familiar with them.
Okay.
But looking forward to it. What are you talking about today?
Oh, who knows? Diddy's going to get served here in a little bit. We'll talk about that. I'm sure I think he's going to get like 6 to 8 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll keep us posted on that, and we'll be looking forward to your show, Chad.
Right on, brother. Have fun tomorrow.
Thank you. It's 12 o'clock. This is Super